Okay, so today we're going to explore stress levels and how to overcome them. How stressed are you? Honestly, think about your day-to-day activities. Maybe you're constantly having to deal with your children, with their activities, or with them fighting with each other. Or maybe you're like me and you have a consistent to-do list that just never seems to end. Or maybe you have to deal with paying bills or stressing over work or schoolwork. Any of these things will cause us to have stress. And the amount of stress in our life can really affect our health. So when we're thinking about our health, why is it important to understand how stress impacts us? Well, in our bodies, we have cells. And in every cell, there is DNA, which is wrapped around this protein called a histone. And this video is going to show us the microscopic view of what histones wrapped with DNA looks like. So in this video, we'll see the yellow, which is the protein histone, and the blue, which is the DNA coiled around it. This is important because during the cell replication process, histones help decide which genes are expressed and which genes are not. Meaning, when our hair is blonde or brown, when our cells replicate, it'll express the DNA for blonde in my case or brown in someone else's case. Now, when we're under stress, our histones don't replicate properly like they're supposed to. So stress can cause our histones to unravel. In the top picture, we see the histones in a way that are normally and healthy, where someone who doesn't have a lot of stress in their life and the DNA is normally coiled around the histone. The bottom picture shows someone who has a lot of stress in their life and the DNA will start to uncoil around the histone. And this causes two things. First, it causes some unwanted genes that might express. For example, these genes might be latent issues such as depression and anxiety, or even as serious as schizophrenia. Another side effect of these histones unraveling is DNA mutation. Now, we know that some DNA mutations cause cancer. Now, we can't overall blanket say that stress causes cancer. That would be very general, and it's a much more complicated process. But we can say that stress causes DNA mutations, and then in a separate note, mutations cause cancer. In this example, very, very simple example, it shows a normal cell has a mutation, and then that same mutation continues to replicate itself, which is known as. Another issue that goes along with having increased stress is a lower immune system. So we're more susceptible to disease. If we can lower our stress, we can increase our immune system and make ourselves stronger to make ourselves less susceptible to diseases. There's an entire field of study that goes towards studying how the interaction between our mind and our body. When we are stressed, we release cortisol, which is the hormone that tells us we're stressed. Now, there's the entire study that's dedicated to studying the reactions between our mind and our body and our immune system. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. So this is important because there's an entire field that is related to the study of our mind and our bodies. So it just shows you how important it is to understand. So cortisol gives us that fight or flight response. And when we are chronically stressed, meaning we feel stressed all the time, constantly on the go, we feel that we are under some type of danger, at least biologically, because when we are feeling like there's a lion about to attack us, and when we're chronically stressed, it's the same exact hormone being released. So why am I telling you all this? Am I telling you this just to scare you and make you think you're going to get cancer or develop some sort of mental disease? Absolutely not. I'm telling you this because there's good news. Stress is something that we have control over. We can control our stress. We can control how much stress we have in our life, and we can control our levels of cortisol. There are many tools that people use to lower their stress, but the way that I'm going to talk about is through mindfulness meditation. And mindfulness meditation means that you are thinking in the moment and being present and thinking about your body, thinking about your breathing, thinking about a specific task at hand. Now, what are some of the benefits of meditation? So when we're being mindful and using meditation, we can lower our cortisol levels, decrease our stress, and we can also see increased cognitive functioning in our minds. We've also seen people who have been patients with mental disorders such as depression and anxiety and substance abuse that have benefited from using mindfulness meditation because of the lowered stress and able to concentrate on their body. They're able to overcome certain symptoms of their mental disease. Now, I know what some of you are thinking at this point, probably like, why would I meditate when I believe in going to the doctor? Most people think that meditation is something, that you believe in if you just don't believe in going to the doctor. But when I worked at a psychology office, I worked with 2 different doctors who held workshops and classes for their patients and others within the practice that used mindfulness meditation. One was an LPC therapist and the other is a psychiatric nurse practitioner. And they hold these classes for their patients and others who are even on psychiatric medication. And it has been shown to help these patients to get better from their disease and help them control it more. Another objection a lot of people have is, I don't have time to sit around and meditate. Like, how long is that going to take me? It could take you 10 minutes. If you wanted to sit and just try meditation with being and concentrating on your breathing and being in the moment, this can take you 10 minutes a day and achieve these same results. And it also doesn't have to be sitting and doing nothing. It can be something you can do while you're doing the dishes or folding the laundry. As long as you don't have an outside distraction like TV or kids or even your mind just running wild and thinking about different things that don't have to do with the task. As long as you're concentrating on being and doing the task at hand, you're being mindful and you're using mindfulness meditation. The body achieves what the mind believes. We've seen our minds do powerful things to our body. We've seen people get sick, or we've seen people get better because of mindfulness meditation. This is where we get things like mass hysteria and the placebo effect. We've seen people make themselves feel like they're getting better because their mind believes that they are, even though they're just taking a sugar pill. We've seen people believe that they're sick because of a mass outbreak somewhere else. Our mind can do powerful things for our bodies. So my challenge to you guys is to take 10 minutes a day and try meditation. Try being mindful. And even if you're just trying it while you're doing a chore, doing the dishes, I know you'll see these results. And I know that as you continue to use this, you'll receive results in a healthier lifestyle and the long-term benefits associated with mindfulness.